Hey everybody, how's it going? RockLeeSmile here. Just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update. I haven't talked to you specifically in a good while, and well, I kind of wanted to apologize for that. Honestly, there's been a lot going on in the past and in the background to the channel that's led to things getting a bit off the rails, and I think what kind of came about just recently is the Dan Giesling video that I posted, which is sort of just a joke slash homage, just sort of a little kind of palling around sort of silly thing. There wasn't really anything behind it. I wasn't trying to kiss up to him. It was just in jokes. That's all it is. Um, but behind that, in some of the comments, there was, a bit of hostility. And at first I was a little frustrated by it, as I often tend to get, because, I get a little too into things sometimes. But also, there is a kernel of truth to a lot of what people are saying, that there hasn't been much quality content going on the channel recently. And it's pretty much true. I have to be just straightforward with you about that. I haven't really been putting up much in the way of good content on the YouTube channel. And what I think was the realization that I had when I kind of thought about that from the other perspective, with regard to that comment, was why would you necessarily get all the in jokes that I'm having with people on Twitch and on the NLSS if you're watching on YouTube? I've sort of just created a situation where I've really alienated you guys specifically, and that wasn't my intent. It may have been what ended up happening, but I didn't set out to do that. It just was sort of a series of bad choices and unfortunate events going on in my personal life that led me to, I think, not just really have the motivation to want to keep putting up YouTube videos frequently. And I don't feel great about it. And the passion for YouTube was running really low for a while. And I think it's sort of starting to come around a little bit now. I tested the waters. I did an indie impressions video the other day. And since then, I've felt incredible creative drive. And I don't mean that to sound hyperbolic, but I've been making art stuff and playing guitar again and singing and all stuff that I just felt like I had no motivation for. And I think part of what that had to do with is starting to feel better, feel healthier, because I had this freaking infection in my head for a year that I didn't know was there. And I think it was June, I ended up going on pills to just take care of another issue, antibiotics essentially, and it ended up, I think, curing the infection that I had in my jaw. Anyway, I ended up seeing a surgeon. I got that tooth out and cleaned, and I had all this stuff going on, which is now generally sorted out, and that happened towards the end of July, and I never even really gave you guys a proper update about that. I just sort of assume at this point that everybody just watches me on Twitch, which is not the right way to go about it. And I don't want to just come across like I want to end my YouTube channel or my YouTube career. I spent a lot of time and effort trying to establish that I'm a certain type of channel, and I've been doing a lot to undermine that lately. And I think what that is, I felt a lot of pressure to try and keep up standards, and I think all the stress that I've had in the background and the not feeling well and the amount of anxiety that I've felt from beating myself up over why can't I make this the way I want it, it's led to me sort of just going off in the other direction and being like, well, screw it. I guess, if I'm sort of petulant about it. If I can't make it, then I may as well sabotage it or something. I don't know. The other thing is I've also just been having fun with it. I've been trying to be a bit more lighthearted, and that's where a lot of those silly joke videos keep coming from. And I understand there's been too many of them, and you're right, there has been. But a lot of it is just my way of coping with stuff, and it's stupid because that's really a shitty way to take it out on people that like my YouTube channel, and I don't mean it like that. It's just that's what ends up being the result of it. But you're right, and you do deserve better content than I've been giving you. That's kind of the basis of what I've been trying to say here. So I guess going forward, I just wanted you guys to know that it's not like I've given up, actually. I just have gone through a lot of stupid stuff in the background that has just made it really difficult for me to concentrate. And the other thing is just the way that things had worked out financially. Twitch just ended up being a lot more viable, and it is right now. I mean, being perfectly honest. I joined a team called Main Menu. It's full of a lot of really popular Twitch broadcasters, and I've sort of found a new sort of element to a community over there. And I'm not saying that I'm going off in another direction or anything on top of it. I'm just telling you I have been sort of reevaluating things a little bit, and that's sort of where I landed on stuff. It doesn't mean that I'm done with YouTube, and in fact, I think quite the opposite. I think now now that I'm finding an equilibrium again and understanding where things can kind of survive, yeah, I'd like to keep a little bit more going on YouTube, and that's why I wanted to do an indie impressions video the other day, try that out, see how that went. You guys were pretty happy about it, so I thank you for that. And I think that may have given me a little bit of a good vibe. So I apologize for all of this nonsense. You deserve better than that, and you've been very supportive of me over the years. And the fact that I can still do this as a job, I mean, this is where it started, is YouTube. So I need to be a little bit more cognizant of that, and hopefully you can sort of laugh it off as me just being, I don't know, a bit shallow or lighthearted about just trying to cope with stupid stuff going on in the background and just using YouTube as sort of a means to feel better. Because sometimes, like, just memeing it up is just, like, the stupidest thing. It just makes you forget about caring about serious stuff. And as stupid as that sounds, like, it's a cultural thing that's sort of come out of Twitch and that kind of behavior where it's just like, yeah, turn off all the problems, just go on autopilot and not think about stuff and just have fun and laugh. And I think it's a stress response. I've been feeling a bit less depressed lately. I've been on medication for it for a while, and I think in conjunction with the surgery, and that's still an ongoing process, I had the teeth out that I needed to have. Now I need to have an implant tooth to replace the molar that they took out, which is the one that had a bad root canal. That's where the infection was. So I've been trying to raise money on Twitch for that, and it's going pretty well. Everything seems like it's moving in the right direction. I've got some plans for things that are going to happen around fall. I'm hoping to revitalize the Indie Impressions website. There's other stuff that I want to not talk about yet, but stuff that should be really fun. That's all in the works at the moment. So I hope you haven't completely given up on me. If you have, I understand. I've kind of not given you a lot of reason in the last year to care about me as a channel anymore. And, that's my bad. If you do happen to see this video, I understand and I apologize. But at the same time, like, it's just the ebb and flow of human existence, right? We have moments where we're overly weakened and not in a good place, and hopefully we push past it, get through it, and come out better as a result. And I think, maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's where I'm headed now. And I'm just trying to be more upfront about it because I didn't know. I was pretty lost for a while about what exactly I was doing or where I was going or what's happening at all. But now I'm starting to feel like some things are lining up and making sense. And maybe there's a bit of momentum to be gained from that again. And, I think part of why Indie Impressions was such a thing for me is because I established this routine, and it became my ritual that every day I'm going to find a weird game, I'm going to play it, I'm going to talk about it. And it let me channel a little bit of that analytical and creative energy into something that I could do every single day as a sort of regimented little, like, stress relief / endorphin result. And also it feels like it's putting me in a better place for my existence, my potential career, all of that stuff. So it was pushing me forward. It was making things seem like a better direction was had. And then once things started to pick up a bit more on Twitch, that pressure was off a little bit. And I started to go, well, all right, I've been doing this for like 2.5, 3 years, something like that. And I like it, but, like, what if there's another angle that I could kind of see things from? And I needed to give it a break. Like, seriously, I really needed to give it a break because I don't think I was enjoying it as much anymore. And I think maybe I'm coming around the other end of that now. Maybe. Anyway, I've probably gone around in circles enough. But I think that's the general gist of what I wanted to say. I do appreciate in YouTube comments as often as possible if people can be congenial, at least. Like, I don't understand sometimes the hatred that comes up out of nowhere. I promise, I swear to you that I don't do things just to piss people off for the sake of pissing people off. Like, I'm not that kind of dude. I don't want drama. I don't seek that stuff out. Occasionally, I find it by accident, but I'd rather not. I'd really just rather everybody be chill and cool and have a good time and be happy and healthy and care about each other and all that stuff. So, when I see angry comments in YouTube world, I understand this is how the world is, and I understand that I can't control that. At the same time, I also limit my exposure to it to a certain degree because I already have enough anxiety, and reading those comments can set me off sometimes in ways that are not good for me. I mean, sort of like what I've seen Total Biscuit has had to do where he's pulled away from social media somewhat. I've done that a bit. with negative comments, but also sometimes I can't stop myself and then I get involved in it and then I start tweeting and I do stupid things that I shouldn't be doing. That's not necessarily anybody's fault. It's just the way that I cope with things, and it's not a healthy way or a good way to do it. Still, I'm working with the tools that I've got. I'm only me, and I'm not perfect. I'm very far from it. In fact, I'm less perfect than most people, I would say. But I do thank anybody that's been able to be cool and respectful and keep their calm. And even if you don't like something I'm doing, I'm not saying you shouldn't have an opinion about that. It's just if people are coming out and just like overtly trying to undermine like my reputation or saying that like I'm trying to screw people over or I'm trying to like further some agenda. I'm not that interested in anything that complex. I'm just in this really because it makes me happy, and it's very thankfully been able to support me financially as well. I love video games. I love art. I love creativity. All those things together, combined with the years and years of me playing video games, I feel like I have something to add to the conversation in the industry. That's what I feel like. If you don't agree, fair enough. That's your opinion. But I've gotten somewhere, and I think I've done an okay job. I have a little bit of self-confidence, even though I'm very quick to lose it. But I think that I'm on the right track now. So, I just wanted to say thanks for the people that have stuck around, and sorry to the people that haven't. And hopefully I'll see you again soon for some other videos. I could probably talk about this for like a half an hour and describe way more stuff that's going through my head, but you know what? That's my problem, that I can't stop doing that. So I think I will stop doing that right now and just say thanks again. So I'll see you soon. And, if you don't see much going on the YouTube channel, I've been streaming on Twitch constantly, mostly constantly. There's been a few days off, but largely I'd like to strive for 5 days a week or so. And, between the NLSS Roundtable, the Main Menu podcast, there's a lot going on over there, and it doesn't seem like it from the YouTube side, and that's what I wanted to explain. Anyway, hopefully that'll change soon, and thank you for your patience. I'll see you next time, guys. Take care.